Hello, everyone. I'm Justin D. Jenkins, managing editor of The Quintessential Gentleman, and I'm here with our latest Turned Gentleman cover star. He's an actor, a dancer, singer, Broadway legend in the making. Jordan Fisher, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing super well. I'm so excited to finally talk to you. I've been a fan for a little while,
Thanks, man.
but I never put two and two together until you had two viral moments that I like watch on repeat. Is when you were singing Michael Bolton's "How Do We Be Lovers," and like the joy you had just hitting that note,
Yeah, it's a crazy feeling.
literally on repeat. And then when you killed it for Beyonce's School of Life on Twitch, I was like, "Who is this? This is like the most
Bro,
talented guy I've
I
ever."
was so not sober. I can't like I don't even know, but people love that video. It's interesting too because like I don't know who posted it, but there's someone posted it and it does better than most of my videos do on YouTube.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was really good. I had wine and I was just like watching. I was like, this guy's
Oh,
super
that sounds
talented.
nice,
Yeah.
man.
Well, jumping right into it, I know you're super busy. Returning to Broadway for Dear Evan Hansen. How are you feeling, and what does this moment mean to you coming back, especially now that Broadway's open after such, a traumatic pandemic that we faced?
Oh, it's interesting. Like, don't you feel like mental health has been such a large topic of conversation, especially over the pandemic, right? And
Yeah.
so I think that just having this source material, this amazing show for people to, especially the ones that are really yearning to feel stabilized.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good word to use for this, right? Like, I think that there's a lot of just like general dissonance, people kind of coming back to work and finding normalcy in their life again. Obviously, I mean, every human is different. Everyone's got their own track and trajectory, and people have different processes on how they do things and whatnot. But getting back to the office, getting back on, in traffic on the freeway,
Yeah.
getting back to doctors' offices and grocery stores and just all sorts of different things like that. There's a general like, how did we do that? How
Yeah.
So it's very much the same thing in the Broadway space, except we have this medium, it's art,
Yeah.
that is the catalyst that brings us all together. And all of this is the same material that we had 2 years ago and that we were working on 2 years ago, but we're 2 years different now. We're 2 years older.
Yeah.
We're 2 years, more suffered and tortured by whatever we have in our life, whether it's good and bad. I don't put a negative connotation on those things. Oftentimes there is, though.
Yeah.
People need to feel community. People need to not feel alone. And we get to do that at Evan Hansen. We have a literal whole song about that. Yeah. You are not alone is the mantra, right? And so it means a hell of a lot coming back. I mean, I think especially being Black and being a mental health advocate, very well that we don't like Black people don't talk about mental health. That's not a part of how we grow up. It's just not what we talk about ever.
Yeah.
But it still very much exists. And it's so frustrating that there isn't material out there that there are, at least if there is, there's a very, very small amount of material that shows mental health in Black communities and Black conversations and Black lifestyle and culture. It's something that just doesn't, it's something. So I'm as a mental health advocate and as a Black man and as an artist, I'm like, if I was working on one thing right now, especially to this one.
That's interesting because I wanted to talk to you about mental health, so we could jump into that a little bit.
Right.
What was that moment for you to kind of begin the conversation with yourself to say, I need to kind of prioritize my mental health? And what are some things you are doing?
When I had my first legitimate panic attack, it was August of 2019. And I woke up feeling just not, I had been in a bit of a funk for a couple of weeks in a time in my life as well, where everything on paper, wonderful. Everything's going well. I'm engaged to my best friend in my life, who would become my wife. And I had family and friends that were in town and visiting. I was working on really great projects and stuff and things that I was really excited about. I was, about to go shoot a movie. I was all sorts of things. This was just a few months before I started the rehearsal process for Evan Hansen. Funny enough. God will, won't he? He'll just throw you in. Be like,
Yeah. Yep. Sometimes he will do that. There you go.
I have my first real panic attack. I call it. I just left a studio session for a song that I was singing for this Quibi show. I was on my way home. I had a red eye that night to Toronto where I was going to go speak to 90,000 kids the next day in an arena about being positive and about empathy and giving people your energy and making sure that you treat people really, all of those things. And I felt, I didn't feel good. It was like if someone was gripping my throat. So on my way home, I'm driving back to my crib. My folks live like 15 minutes from me. My fiance was out of town. Well, my wife back then, my fiance was out of town, and I called my mom and I was like, I don't know what's going on right now, but I don't feel me at all. And I don't know what to do. And she was like, where are you? I was like, I'm driving home. She's like, well, if you need to pull over, pull over. I got home and I opened up my front door. My dog ran up to me, like all the way from the back of the house, ran up to me and was like, Dad. Like immediately her whole tone changed. I hit the floor and I just sobbed. I didn't know what was going on. It was I panicked. I panicked because I didn't know what was going on. Something was happening and I didn't know how to calm it down. I didn't know. I had experienced panic attacks before where my wife is concerned because she's had anxiety and depression for quite some time. And she'll talk about that in the same way that I do. I was depressed.
Yeah.
And it got worse. And I was like, I can't live with this. I'm not going to wake up with this every day. Like, there's no way that I could, I need to do something. Therapy.
Yeah.
That was the first stop. And I was like, okay, I've heard for years and years and years how wonderful therapy is.
Right.
I'm gonna find anyone that feels that they can help me right now and where I'm at, and just find myself again and just feel good in my body again and in my everything. And started yoga and started doing all these things. And so I, started going to therapy sessions and whatnot. It was then where I realized, I was like, oh man, even the happiest people need therapy. Probably more than anybody else, to be honest with you. I feel like a lot of the happy, because I was one of them forever. I mask a lot of my things, silently suffer, right? Because that's also being a man, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
It's also being a man. We don't talk about.
Yeah, definitely.
How is that conducive? How is that helpful to anybody? How is that helpful to me? First of all, I don't have any place to go or any way to get think things out.
Yeah.
Someone, an unbiased professional that can actually help me through the thing, beyond friends and beyond family and all of that. That's that we have to talk.
Yeah.
We have to say things out loud to people that we love, to our therapists, to our colleagues, whatever the case may be. We have to talk. This no, you zip it up, you silently suffer. It doesn't matter. No.
Yeah.
No.
What I found is create that space with your friends and family when it's not just that type of talk, but just knowing that you're not dumping on them, and you guys create the space that you don't feel like you have to hide it, because it's going to come out at some point of a night. We're hanging out, whichever way it comes out. In
the way that we're talking right now.
Yeah.
How are you today? Yeah. Are you good today?
I'm good today.
You're good today? Good. Good. I'm good today as well. I woke up with a lot of energy, and it was really great and wonderful. I had rehearsal all day, and of course we're doing Evan Hansen, and so it's a lot of disassociation and acting methods. To be emotional. I mean, obviously Evan Hansen's,
it's very emotional
thing, and he's this kid that was crippled with anxiety and depression in the same way that I was for a period of time, and I have to constantly have a relationship with anxiety. I have a relationship with depression. I don't it's not this big, bad, scary thing that I'm afraid of now. I know what they are. Mm-hmm. I know when I feel things coming on. I know triggers. I know all of those things. And so I can go, okay, so we're feeling this right now, right? So there was a point earlier in the day, I'm going to be candid with you right now, just for the sake of not just this interview, but for normalizing these kinds of conversations. There's a period earlier today I was frustrated about my appetite because I have some appetite issues. And I realized that a lot of like my most recent anxiety that I've had is just like not being able to nourish myself. And like I've been trying to pinpoint why that like just kind of baseline of anxiety has just existed over the last few weeks. It's because I'm having a difficult time with food right now, and that's not great. But you know, I've got a nutritionist, and we're working on the thing. And once I'm able to pinpoint that, it's kind of made everything better. But ultimately, it made me really tired, but cathartic. So that's how I am today. I feel really good now, feeling settled and like happy, and you know, got some dinner on the way, and things are good. You know, so that's. Yeah. It's the normalization of those kinds of conversations that I think it's so important.
Definitely. And I appreciate you opening up. We actually, Quintessential, we started something called Black Man Get You Some Therapy. So you should check that out sometime. It's on our YouTube page and just look into that. But before I keep moving on.
Therapy. No, wait, I've seen it.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
Okay, cool.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You were on it.
I created and produced it with.
Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh my God. I was like, this is amazing. Oh, okay, great. Okay.
But was the moment that you wanted to become more of a mental health advocate behind your merch line, Be My Friend, which I like love the commercial and just the reasoning behind it?
Thank you. Yeah, 100%. Dude, you don't know what people are dealing with.
Yeah.
Ever.
Right.
You don't know. So like you stubbing your toe, or that one clerk or whatever at that one store just like said something that pissed you off, and you choose to take that out. It's like,
yeah.
I met somebody recently. I met an older gentleman recently. He's in his early 60s, and he has a son who's it's like 38, 39, late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah.
It's Down syndrome. And like severe. And dad still takes care of him.
Yeah.
Like, he could have been like that guy right there. Could have been somebody that like maybe somebody said something earlier that day that pissed me off, and I turned around and that guy like maybe just like got in my way or something. And like, just
it escalates. Yeah. Not
just
what. Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
What people are ever. You never do.
Just
right.
Be kind.
If you lead with that,
yeah,
you just assume that people need community. I just like, especially like when I'm in New York, I'm walking down the street. I just kind of assume that everyone that I pass, if I were to just grab them, pull them aside and look them in the eye and like have them take a deep breath with me and hug them, that it's probably the thing that they need more than anything in that moment.
Yeah.
I obviously like can't do that.
Right.
What I can at least do is like offer my friendship. I can offer community. I can offer kindness. I can offer warmth. I can like lead with love and lead with like, why don't we take care of each other? Right. That's what Be My Friend's about. And I'm very happy. I'm very proud of it. Yeah. I'm very proud of it, and proud to see people wear it with pride, and like it genuinely means something to them and remind them to treat people with kindness, you know.
Kindness always. That's my motto. I try to live by that. I love that. Now, you were born in Birmingham, Alabama. Who was it, or how were you even introduced to the magic of Broadway and theater? I've
been made fun of for years about telling the story and retelling the story, but I had a crush on a girl in 5th grade. And she asked me to join the drama club, and so I did. And that's
boy meets girl. Join drama club.
yeah. And then there's a really great theater conservatory that I grew up in. Actually, funny enough, my wife did as well. We met when we were kids in the theater conservatory. Yeah. We've got like 8 alumni on Broadway and did national tours, and a handful on different TV shows and films and making music and all of that stuff. Like, you remember the Bridgerton musical, Abigail Ross Barlow? I've known her since she was 4. She's from my theater conservatory. Like, the guy playing Simba on Broadway right now in Lion King is from our conservatory. We got like 4 people in Hamilton. Like, it's really cool, like from Birmingham, Alabama. But it was just an amazing, really rich, ran by Keith Cromwell, just brought in all his Broadway friends and was like, come give us a good foundation, help us set a good foundation of teaching the arts in Birmingham. And it's quite literally why I'm sitting here talking to you right now. So
That is amazing. Now, one thing I love about your career is you don't fit into a box. You do what you do. You're on theater. You're in the
Whatever I
DC
want.
universe. You know, you singing on Broadway. How are you navigating that and that pressure to kind of confine you? Because you know, I'm sure you know the pressure is there to try to put you in a box, and this is what you do. Especially being a black man, right? If you want to be a singer, it's like you better be an R&B singer, right? You want to do, you know, so or the movie roles you pick or anything like that. So how are you kind of dealing with that pressure?
There is none. There's no pressure because it's my career.
That's awesome.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Like I don't yeah, I like doing all of the things that I do. I love working in the gaming industry. I love working in Broadway. I love working in music. I love producing movies and TV shows. I love acting in TV shows and movies. I love, I like all of it.
Yeah.
And I have for a long time. I've been doing all of it for like 18 years now almost. And the idea of having to truncate it and dilute it and make it simpler for the sake of other people understanding who I am better, I'm not doing anybody any favor. I'm young, I'm 27. I've got a long way to go and a lot of stuff to do, but it's taken me almost 18 years to get to a point where people are just now starting to be like, Jordan, Finn, like, oh my God, yeah, and it's the length of that time. It's that trajectory that's just made me more appreciative of the successes. It's made me more grateful for my team. It's made me more excited for what I have yet to do, because I know that inevitably it's going to happen. So me simplifying it, I love making R&B music for sure. I love that. I love being an R&B artist. It's awesome. Like I adore it. That's the music that I enjoy making. That music. That's great. It's wonderful. I also love doing analytics for esports. And I also love being in production meetings and casting sessions to put projects together and produce them. And I love it all. Why would I get rid of any of it? Why would I ever so that's not, no pressure. I have an amazing team.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work if I didn't have my assistant and my management and my producing partners and my agents and my everybody that works in my production company. Like it takes a village. It really, really does. Like the reason why I'm able to do all of these different things is because I have a bunch of people in my corner that support and are the backbone to help keep all of it going, yeah, man, it's great.
Awesome. You mentioned gaming. You're huge on Twitch. So what does that gamer community kind of mean to you and just like your daily life and how you're operating? Because again, the sense of community is there. I see some of your Twitch videos. It's hilarious. I can't get into gaming because I can't process it. Like if I can't beat the board after two chances, I'm like, I'm done. I still call it boards. I don't think it's called boards anymore. It's like levels or something. But what does that community mean to you?
It's wonderful, man. It's community in the richest way. That's really it. I mean, gaming is a language that everybody speaks, right? So if you can speak that language, like there's going to be friends for you to make. So that's the cool part of it. Like you don't have to be any certain level. You don't have to be able to play at a really high level to be able to like jump into indie game and make lifelong friends.
Yeah.
My wife and I have moved to a neighborhood to be close to some of our closest friends in our life that I met through gaming.
Wow.
So like if that says anything at all, it shows how powerful that is. It blends worlds. I see these different videos on TikTok and YouTube and stuff, like people going to, who was it recently? It was it Zeke? Who was it? Who was it? There's a football player. I think he's a running back. Maybe it wasn't Zeke, but he was a running back, and there was like a TikTok video of this dude like walking down the stairs of the stands, and like the team was out in the field and they're like warming up and stuff, and he just like calls out this play. Did you see this? Calls the player runs off and was like, my guy, because like they had not met in person.
Yeah.
They'd just been friends on Call of Duty. And they met randomly on Call of Duty and became homies. Like it just blends these worlds together, and it's the coolest thing, man. All shapes and sizes and creeds and colors and orientations and religions and backgrounds and everything. It doesn't matter if you're a gamer.
Yeah,
You're a gamer, and
Gamer.
you're part of the crew. You're part of the community. It's awesome.
I love that. Now, like I've mentioned, you are on our Turn Gentleman cover, and we do focus on style and culture. So, how do you define your style?
Fluid.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's whatever I'm feeling that day. It's really it. Sometimes I'm like more on my wife's side of the closet, and sometimes I'm more in like, my deeper like athletic wear and things like that. Sometimes I'm just kind of like this. Like right now, I have a t-shirt on. I've got this like cashmere acrylic vest and some like kind of athleisure Adidas, and but earrings as well, and I got rings on, and then that kind of thing. It's but yesterday I basically had heels and bell bottoms and a shirt from my wife's side of the closet and like this long trench coat and glasses. Like it's very fluid. I don't really, clothing is clothing and fashion is fashion. Whatever feels good is like what's going to make you feel like you're the best, right? And that's right. If I put something on and like that's what I feel the best in that day, it's usually going to be the sickest outfit because of the way that I'm wearing it, right? I've got this like swag and the steez about how I'm wearing it because this is how I feel in it, and that's it, dude. That is everything. You can put a brown paper sack on and it can be fashion if you feel amazing in it,
Yeah, there we go. And who are some of your style influencers?
Oh my god. Jesus, what era? Where do I start? Okay, I'll just go kind of like overall. David Bowie, David Beckham, Harry Styles, Prince.
That's a great list.
Those four right there. Yeah. David Beckham, David Bowie, Prince, and Harry Styles are my four fashion icons for sure.
Awesome. Now, what roles do you hope to kind of start playing in Hollywood? What is your dream role?
I don't know that it exists. I think I have to create it.
Awesome. I love you in I love you as Flash on the CW.
Well, yeah, man. Impulse, he's fun.
Yeah, that was
Impulse is fun. There are some bucket listers. Like I think that if you follow me at all on any social media, you know that I would kill to play Johnny Storm in Fantastic Four whenever that rolls around. It'd be a lot of fun. I mean, there are plenty, there's all sorts of really great, like pre-existing IP that's out there. And I love all of that. That's really exciting. But like the stuff that I get the most excited about is the stuff that I'm creating.
That is awesome. Now, being a musical guy, what is one big musical you hope to see produced, be a part of one day that kind of the masses see maybe in theaters that they don't, maybe on Broadway adaptation?
It's a great question. I mean, it would really just kind of have to be like when, right? Like I think that the why are we telling the story and when are we telling the story are two of the biggest, most important things. I mean, like I could sit here and tell you about like the IPs that I have in mind, but the problem here in this conversation is that I'm already working on them. Right. Okay. So I can't like just start talking about the things that I wish I could see on Broadway one day when I'm actually like kind of actively working on making that happen, So I just like encourage everybody to keep just making new stuff.
Yeah.
Keep writing and keep making new stuff. And if you're going to adapt, that's great. Adapt away. That's awesome. Expand.
Yeah.
If you're going to adapt, please expand the world. Like, please take your time. Don't give us this, it's a different interview.
I know. I'm not going to keep you too much longer, but so any new music on the way?
Yes.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I can tell you.
Okay. All right. So so the holidays are coming up. Any traditions that you hope to kind of now implement with the growing family that you have going on?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it just very much depends on where we are. I find that like every 3 or 4 years or so, we're in New York for Christmas, which is really great. We're starting a new tradition now. Like whenever we are in New York for Christmas, we get an Airbnb upstate, and my side of the family, her side of the family, we all go up and just get a massive Airbnb, and everybody just be together and stay together. And it snows up there. It's all like snowed in and gorgeous. And we just watch Christmas movies.
I love it.
Eat and sleep. And enjoy the jacuzzi and just eat and sleep more. And
Watch like Home Alone.
Yeah, pretty much. So this year would be cool because we'll have that the show the evening of the 23rd of December, and then we'll be off on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So we'll get up, we'll drive down, or we'll drive up after the show on the 23rd, and be able to have a couple of days up there, just like nothing, just to relax and chill and just be with family. It's gonna be so great.
Love that. Now, my last question: what do you want your legacy to be?
It's interesting. The legacy is setting the thing up that you're never gonna see, right?
Right.
It's interesting to think about. I mean, I think that for me, it's a matter of creating things that live way past me. Timelessness, there's no formula for timelessness. Timelessness, I find, has been right place, right time. It's an anomaly, but there's certain things that work, right? Like, why do pearls still work? It's timeless. Why does Tiffany still work? Because it's timeless. Was it right place at the right time, or is it just formulaic, or was it like people just deciding that it's good still over and over and over again? In my experience, especially in writing music, doing placements for other artists, or for like writing songs for pitches for shows and things like that, the more you try to follow the formula to a T, the more it becomes a part of the noise. I have found that the more I keep throwing the things that I think are good because they feel good to me against the wall, eventually some of the things stick. And the more I throw things against the wall, and the more things stick, and I learn from the mistakes, and I learn from like what's working and what's not. My goal is to just build a body of work and continue to build a company and things that can, much like Disney, or much like, whatever great family of producers and that kind of thing, can just keep making things in their namesake, knowing that it's tidy, it's crystal clear, it's really good, and it's timeless. But in the way that a legacy is planting seeds in a garden you never get to see, you have to just make what feels the best to you. You must do that. So that's what I do. I look in the mirror every day and I go, okay, what am I doing today? And why am I doing it?
Right.
And then eventually people will catch on, and hopefully that builds something. Hopefully it continues to build and grow and expand, and people just can't live without, art.
Yeah. So listen, I can talk to you all day and all night. Like, you're just amazing. I know you have, so many things to do. I do appreciate the time you took out just to, chat. Thank you for being so vulnerable, talking about mental health. I really do appreciate that as well. And I'm going to let you go ahead and eat dinner, and we'll be in touch.